Right guys, so this is going to be a quick video looking at investing in the upcoming weekend leagues. So most of you are probably thinking that next week is the Premier League one. You need 16 players minimum from the Premier League. Now everybody is already thinking this. Everybody is already investing in Premier League players. Everybody's picking them up. Everybody's talking about this. On top of this, most people already run a Premier League team, so they're not going to need to pick up these players as badly as they will other leagues. Personally, I feel if you're looking for the biggest profit, we should be looking at the weekend league after. So, looking at the weekend league after, we need 18 players from La Liga and the Bundesliga. So I know this is 2 weeks away, so it's a bit down the line, but this is going to return a much larger profit because these leagues are used a lot less than the Premier League. What we'll do is have a quick look at the kind of players that you can be investing in and use some logic as to why it's a good choice. So to start with, I'm going to mention all the big names. I'm going to mention Neuer, Boateng. I'm going to mention Ramos, Ronaldo, Messi, Suarez. These are the top tier players. Anybody who wants these players usually has them, and even if they do want them, it's a big gamble investing in such high rated players because we need them to increase by 5% just to cover the tax anyway. Plus, we can only probably invest in one or two of these cards before we run out of coins. Instead, we're going to look at cheaper options that would fall to the majority of the player base and include absolutely everyone. So we're going to start with the right wing players. Firstly, we're going to look at Inaki Williams. If you're thinking of La Liga and you're thinking of right wing, and you're not willing to spend huge amounts of money for the likes of Messi, then Inaki Williams is going to be your go-to player. He's got awesome physical, his passing and shooting are absolutely fine alongside his dribbling, but he's got the 92 pace that everybody wants. People running these BPL teams are usually using Walcott or Manny on the right wing. Inaki Williams does exactly what they do, and he's going to be in huge demand in 2 weeks' time. Try starting off bidding on these players, sniping these players, or if you're feeling lazy, just pick them up for what they're going for now. I can only see the price increasing as we get nearer to the time. Next, we'll look at the Bundesliga equivalent. So we have Dembele. Now, Dembele is literally going for discard at the moment. You can pick him up on open bids for 650 if you're patient enough. You don't lose any coins by picking up this player at the moment, and you have everything to gain. His stats are brilliant all round. He's got 82 dribbling, 84 pace. If you stick a hunter on him, he's going to have the kind of pace that people like from the Premier League as well. And you have the option of looking at his special cards. So not only does he have a couple of informs, a team of the group stage, which is a left wing card, which although there's been no demand for it up till now, when you're looking at left wings in the Bundesliga, I really can't think of anyone who stands out. This card could massively increase in demand. So could his one to watch card. This one's a bit more of a risk, obviously. Because the price has started to increase since yesterday and is already up about 30,000 coins, you are rolling the dice and taking a bit of a gamble here. But people are going to want the best teams to compete in the weekend league, and Dembele is one of the players that will give you the best chance. So next we'll move on to the left wing side. Now, if you're going for Bundesliga again, you have the obvious options of people like Marco Reus. He's going to be in huge demand, but again, he's a premium player and not many people can afford to pick up multiple of him. So instead, we're going to look at the cheaper options again. Kingsley Coman. He's got the pace that people like. 93 pace is absolutely insane. His dribbling's fantastic and his shooting and passing is absolutely fine for a left winger. He also is French, so he links pretty easily with a lot of people, and you can pick him up for only 1100 coins at the moment. Probably cheaper if you're sniping or bidding on the player. So the next player we're going to look at is going to be the left-handed side player for La Liga. Now, there weren't many players that filled this category. Carrasco was by far the best cheap player. He's got the huge pace of 88. He's got dribbling of 84, and shooting and passing are absolutely fine as well. He's going to be the go-to player for a lot of budget teams, so picking him up at such a small price minimalizes almost all risk and gives you every chance at profit. Next, we're going to move on to strikers. We're going to look at strikers that are a bit more expensive, but if you're investing on a lower budget, there are literally hundreds of strikers to choose from. If you're Bundesliga, you can look at the likes of Lewandowski all the way down to Socrates. If it's La Liga, you've got the likes of Benzema all the way down to Ben Yedder. Have a think of what people use, what stats are important, what attributes people like on cards. check the price, make sure you do your research, find out what they sell for normally, don't overpay, and then invest. So here we're going to look at the pacey fast forwards that everyone likes. We've got the inform version of Imbolo up first. Currently there's only one card that falls under 152,000 coins. This is how much this player is currently used. He's even more expensive than his one to watch card just because he's a striker. People like pace, and this could be a great investment provided you pick him up at the right price and don't overpay. The next player we're going to look at is going to be Aubameyang. Now, people love pace up front, and he is the fastest guy there is. He's currently selling for around 115,000, 116,000 coins. The cheapest he has been all year was last week, and it was only down at about 110,000, 112,000 coins. So this investment covers such minimal risk, and when people start coming to pick their teams up, 100,000 coins for a striker isn't a lot of money. This guy is going to increase in price. Now we're going to move on to the midfielder side of things. You probably get where we're going with this video from the examples we've used before, so I'm just going to use the one here, and it's going to be Renato Sanchez. Have you guys ever played against a more annoying centre midfielder who just dominates the whole game? And he only costs 1,400 coins at the moment. When people come to building their teams, if they're building a Bundesliga team, they're going to have him in it. If they're building a hybrid, they're most probably going to have him in it as well. So you've got the option of investing in his gold card, but we also have the option in investing in his one to watch card. Now, it's very unlikely he actually gets an inform card just because he doesn't get the playing time. But a lot of people like the pretty cards. A lot of people would much rather pick this up opposed to the gold card, just in case he gets an inform and because it looks a lot nicer in their team. So picking up this player for around, he was going for about 42,000 earlier. I'd aim to pick him up for around that kind of price. I can't see you making a loss. With the midfield, you've obviously got tons of other options. You've got the likes of Vidal for Bundesliga if you want a big player. You've got Modric, Iniesta in La Liga if you want big players. And if you're looking for mid-tier players, do the same. Do your own research. Think about who people use against you, who's popular, who has the high work rates that people like from midfielders, and invest in these guys. But make sure you research what price you're buying them at so that you don't overpay. Finally, we move on to the backline, the defenders and the goalkeeper. This process follows everything that we've done before. If you're looking at top tier players, you're going to be looking at Boateng, Ramos, Neuer. At left back, you're going to be looking at Alba, or Marcelo. And at right back, you're really limited for choices actually. If it's a Bundesliga player, you've got the likes of Piszczek, who's fairly cheap at the moment and would fit budget teams and top tier teams. So this is the kind of player you want to look for. Ones that link into all budget ranges that you can pick up at a bargain price. A final idea I'm going to leave you guys with as well is think about people that want to create hybrids. So if we look at ter Stegen for an example, he's selling for about 1,700, 1,800 coins. He's from La Liga, but he's German. So you can use a player like Piqué in defence, but you can also play Boateng next to him, and both of them will get links. That's the best thing about these kind of players. They fit both teams, so your investments have double the chance of success. Now, just remember, guys, informs are huge this year. There's more coins than ever on the market, so people like to play with informs. Let's take the new Socrates, who's in the current team of the week, as an example. If you're playing Boateng as one of your defenders in a German team, and money isn't an object, who else are you going to pick up? Socrates is probably the second best centre-back in the league. And look at the stats on his second inform. 81 pace, 90 defending, and 89 physical. You can pick this card up for 65,000 coins as well. He might even drop a little bit more as the weekend league comes to an end and people sell on their investments. But his first inform was roughly this price before the market crash. He is going to go up when the new weekend league comes round, and he's not the only player. Do your research, find other informs that are currently going for way cheaper than they should be, and they're the ones you want to pick up. Just make sure that they're players that are actually in demand and players people want to use. So guys, just to summarise, next weekend league has got the Premier League requirements. Now, I'm not saying you can't invest in these. You can probably still find profit. You probably can pick up players for a good price. But if you have a quick look at them on Footbin, you'll see most of them have already increased and you're going to be a little bit too late. What I would advise doing is start picking up players for the weekend league the week after. And I'll say it again, I know it's about a 2-week wait until your investment's going to pay off. But if you choose the right players and pick up the correct players at the correct price, you can make an absolutely killing on this, just because you're thinking of it before most people do, so you have a huge head start on the current market. If you guys are enjoying the content, you like these kind of videos, if you could leave a like, drop a comment to let me know, and even subscribe, I would love you forever.